Hi, Lee Phillips again. I want to talk to you about, does a living trust need an EIN, an employer identification number, tax ID number? And the answer is no. And the banks don't get that through their head, and unfortunately, he who has the money, aka the bank, makes the rules. But Section 671 of the IRS code, specifically in the area of subpart E, says no, trusts don't get EIN numbers. They are if it's what we call a grantor trust. Grantor is the guy who sets it up. And the trust should have language in it that says all of the income of the trust is paid out. Paid out doesn't mean you take it out of the trust and you put it in another bank account. It means that the grantor, the guy who set it up, the guy who's the beneficiary, and when you set up your living trust, you're the grantor, you set it up, you're also the trustee, the guy who manages it, and you are the beneficiary. So the trust has to have language in it which says that the trust will pay out all of its income, at least annually, to the beneficiaries, you. And if it's revocable, if it has that provision in it, number of other little things, we call it a grantor trust, which your living revocable trust is. And the IRS code specifically says these should not have EIN numbers. That doesn't stop people from calling me up, coming to me all of the time and saying, my bank is requiring an EIN number. And the answer is no. And I've recently told the story of my new wife, my first wife, Christy. Today's her 70th birthday, by the way. But my new wife went down to the bank. No, I need an EIN number. I said, get up, walk out. I've told this story. She left. We went back to a branch of the bank, and they said, yeah, you don't need an EIN number. A young guy says, I was trained on this last week. This is what the bank says. Well, the people in the bank don't get that message. And I don't know how you teach them. I've talked to lawyers in banks. I've talked to all kinds of people. And so, do you need an EIN number for your living trust? The answer is no. Get my ebook, How to Use a Trust. It's free. Just click the link. But it will explain to you that when you're putting the bank account into the trust and the brokerage account and all of that stuff, your social security number is the EIN, the tax identification number for your trust. Now, when you die, the trust becomes irrevocable, and I've got a YouTube on that. Your trust, after you die, has to have an EIN number because it's no longer a grantor trust. So, Lee Phillips talking on grantor trusts. Remember to give us a like and subscribe and all of that stuff, because we put out a new one of these every week or so, and hopefully they're useful to you. If the bank says you need an EIN, I don't know what to, go to a different bank. And I actually had a lady that did that, and I said, lady, are you married to this bank? And she said, no. And I said, good, fine, go to the credit union down the block, get rid of your credit union. And she moved $4 million out of the credit union. Somebody should be fired. But they make the rules. So, Lee Phillips, do you need an EIN for your living trust? The answer is no.